process of how we do these things. Where
Mhm.
I would see it is, hey, I'm truly not. I'm voting my conscience. I'm voting biblical values. I'm doing all of those things, but I'm also not looking and ever having an expectation for society to change, for society to uphold the kind of standard of living that we have. I'm truly not focused on those things. If
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
happens, I think that that would be great. Um, how would you say that that is different, or would you even say that maybe I am missing something even in that perspective? Because I think there's a lot of rhetoric around people who have a similar viewpoint to kind of where I'm at, where some other people that I've talked to have been at, and would call that cowardice, passive, some of those things. I truly don't think that it is, but anyway, what do you kind of say to people like me who would go, hey, if that happens, that's great, but I'm actually not even really focusing in on stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My immediate thought just kind of goes to 'cause if I can be honest, it has more because my desire for a Christian society, at least on a moral level, has more to do with what my kids are going to grow up in versus what I'm living in right now. And that's why I'm probably a little bit more intense on the issue. Not to say that you don't care about the same thing. You're a married man and I'm not, so you actually have more reason to care than maybe I do. But hey, I'm interceding. I'm speaking in tongues to kissing tongues. You know what I'm saying? But you love that. I just came up with that. I'm actually kind of proud of it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
but uh, but man, I really do because I don't know, like, I'll be honest with you, kind of being raised in the society that I have, and that we kind of, I was born in 1999. Now, of course, my parents didn't necessarily have like a very strong Christian framework that they raised me into. And I believe that I believe that the home and the family is a very holy place. And I think that the family, whatever the parents have intended for their children, they will become. And I think there's a sacredness to that and there's an isolation of that. But I just do not want the society that we are in to ultimately, I'm of the argument, crush my own kids. And that's kind of where the concern comes from because I do have to be worried about, and I kind of refuse to be passive on the idea of society may not get awful in my lifetime, but it may be absolutely crushing and impossible to live in for my grandkids. And so if I'm not active now, it's kind of the looking forward to the future and sowing seeds that I may never even get to reap from. But it's like, what kind of society would I desire for my kids and my grandkids to live in? And that's the society that I should kind of aim for. Obviously, that is coming as a secondary to doing everything else right and doing evangelism and discipleship right. But it's also saying, man, like, even like one really cool thing, I'll be moving up to Franklin, Tennessee here in a few months. And one of the most interesting things about Franklin is why Franklin's getting a lot of people from California, and a lot of people from California. One of the things that the city of Franklin did to protect its people and to protect its culture is it's actually refusing single family housing development right now, or not single family housing, but like apartments. And the reason it's doing that is because it desires to protect the culture that it's in. It recognizes that it has a conservative culture. It wants to keep that. And so the city of Franklin refused for more apartment buildings to be built in that city, because it recognizes that the majority, as of right now, is very conservative families, and it recognizes, and this in the government of Franklin recognize that if they build more apartments, they're going to get more people from California who are more leaning to the left, and the left doesn't care about family values in the same way that the right does, and that's going to disrupt the culture of Franklin, right? And that's one of the reasons why I think Franklin is an incredible city in Tennessee. Um, my point being that it's protecting the culture of the children, it's protecting the culture of the children's children. It's doing something to safeguard that. So whenever I view seeing political and seeing societal change, I understand that it's possible that through the Lord, and maybe if the church kind of tightens its reins a little bit more on some of these issues, that we could see that in America in my lifetime, maybe by the time I'm in hospice. But I think it's possible that we could see it, and that would mean the betterment for my kids to where I know that they're not going to be crushed by the society that they're in. If that makes sense.